Hi guys, it's Andy from the Postpartum Closet, and today I wanted to talk to you about travel makeup bags or travel cosmetic bags. I travel a fair amount, and I am always looking for a good cosmetic and toiletry bag. And over the years, I've gone through a ton, and I just thought I would share with you some of my favorites. And I will, as a spoiler alert, let you know that I don't have a single favorite. I like having a variety of different cosmetic bags for different purposes, depending on where I'm going and the reason I'm going. For example, on a girls' trip, I might take a bag with more fun cosmetic items versus if I'm traveling for a family event or possibly a funeral, which I've done many times. My makeup bag will be a little more subdued and kind of limited to just the basics. It'll also depend on how I'm traveling, whether I'm traveling by car, if I'm checking a bag, if I'm carrying, if I'm taking just a personal item or a full carry-on and a personal item. All of those will factor into what makeup bag I decide to use. But I'm just going to go through my favorites here, and I'm just going to kind of give you a quick overview and let you see what I like and why I like them. Without further ado, let's get into it. So the first one I'm going to start with, and this is actually from a brand that I really enjoy. This is from, and this is older, you'll see that a lot of these I've collected over the years, so prints and some details may have changed, but they are still, for the most part, available. The style of bag, not necessarily the print. So this one is the Travel Weekender bag from Sonia Kashuk. And Sonia Kashuk is a brand that's carried exclusively at Target. And I will say they have some of the best cosmetic bags, and they are at an incredibly reasonable price. So this is the Weekender, and it is a pretty full-size makeup bag. It comes with handles, and you'll see here it has two separate zippers, and both of those sections are separate, and I will open it up and show you. And Sonia Kashuk, what Target has traditionally done, and I don't know if this has changed in the last year, they come out with a seasonal collection. There'll be maybe 3 or 4 prints each season. I think it's maybe 2 or 3 seasons a year. So depending on the time of year that you go in, the prints will be different. And each season they may come out with slight variations of the bag as well. So this one is a number of years old, but I don't think the current style has changed very much. So it is two-sided, and on the one side you'll see, and one thing I like about these is that they all have brightly colored interiors. I have a hard time with makeup bags that are just black on the inside. It's hard to find things, it's easy to miss things that you're looking for that are actually right in front of you, but it's just hard to see. Another thing that I love with my makeup bags is bags that have a separate section for brushes, because I do use a fair number of brushes. And I would like to start off by saying I'm sorry this is not the cleanest, but these are very well loved makeup bags, so they are not in new condition. So this one, I will start here. It does have a brush section, and this fits a ton of brushes. I actually like that it doesn't have the individual loops, because you can fit more in here. And just stick the flap on top, and that way they are covered, protected. And this makeup bag is one of the biggest. There is a big section back here that you can see, and it actually has a little gusset of its own, so this might be a good place for fuller size bottles. There's some depth, so you can fit quite a bit in that back pocket. And right above that is another zipper. Right above the makeup section is another zipper, sorry, makeup brush section, and that one is pretty deep. Although if you put anything too big in this zippered compartment, it might cut into this one. So I typically keep just smaller things that I don't often grab for, like extra hair ties. And those all fit in there really well. What you have here is a nice big clear section. This is just, I'm sorry, it's really bright. One big clear compartment, and you can fit just a ton in there, and I love that it is clear so you can see exactly what it is that you're looking for. And then once you flip this over, you'll see that there's a big slip pocket here. Again, you can put some bigger items in there. And Sonia Kashuk or Target or whoever creates this, they do this thing where they have separate pouches, clear pouches that just pop out. These are attached by Velcro, and as I said, this is an older style, but there are newer styles, and I think they actually are placed in there with an elastic loop, so you could just slip it out and it's not as noisy. I'm not the hugest fan of Velcro. But these separate little pouches are awesome. If you don't have too many liquid items that you're carrying in your carry-on, you can actually use this as your TSA bag. Or if you are carrying, let's say, a body wash, shampoo, conditioner in travel sizes, if you stick them in here, you can just take out this whole pouch and just take it to the bathroom with you at your destination. So I really like this one. I would say this is one of the biggest ones that I have here today to show you. And the next biggest one actually is... actually, I'm not sure if it's the next biggest or just one of the biggest, but it is also from the Sonia Kashuk line, and that is this one. This is called the Beauty Organizer, and this one, I believe the current model retails for $19.99, and I didn't say, I believe this one retails for $29.99 at Target. And this is a single zipper. And again, this is an older print. It's not one that is available anymore, but they come out with new prints every season. I think currently they have some metallics, like a rose gold, a gold, a silver, that sort of thing. And this one also opens kind of like a book. And I'll start back here. One big cleared zipper pocket. You could fit a ton of cosmetic items in there. This is for your brushes. Still, same big pocket, an elastic loop to keep them in place, and just a flap so that whatever dirt and powdery items are on your brushes that won't get into the rest of your makeup bag. And this is the same concept as the Weekender Sonia Kashuk bag. These are separate pull-out pouches that you could use possibly for TSA, or if you just wanted to separate your items and keep them organized. They're awesome for that. And again, I think in this style, the organizer, I believe that this has been replaced, the Velcro has been replaced with elastic loops, which is, I think, even better. But that is the beauty organizer, and I'm a big fan of this one. One of the next biggest bags I have, and I actually don't have a way to measure the capacity exactly, but this is, I would say, one of the biggest and actually one of my favorites. This is the Lug Trolley Bag, and it kind of looks plain, but this thing has a ton of organization in it, and it holds just a ridiculous amount of stuff. I actually also have this in another print. They have a ton of prints. They have patterns for both male and female, and my husband has one as well, which he loves because it's just super organized. So this is, as I said, the Lug Trolley. I believe this one retails for a little bit more. I want to say it's around $55, but it's available on QVC, eBags, luglife.com, and they're all at varying prices. So this one is kind of in the shape of a traditional men's dop kit. Although I did mention previously, they also come in prints. The other one I have has little pink flamingos on it, which is really cute, but it has been very well loved and it's kind of dirty. So I am going to show you this one instead. So you'll see right here in the top flap, there is a little zippered mesh compartment. So what I'll typically keep in there are my little beauty tools, tweezers, nail clippers, that sort of thing, so that they're easily accessible and easy to find. You'll see on the main compartment, this entire thing is covered in wipeable plastic, which is awesome because, as you know, makeup products can get a little messy, either powdery or you could have liquid spills, and this just cleans right up. And I'm not sure if you can tell on camera, but this is actually quite large. I can fit a number of full-size palettes in here. I can fit Urban Decay palettes, Anastasia Beverly Hill palettes, a Huda palette. They all fit in here. And foundation bottles can sit upright, which is one thing that I really like about this. And I can fit basically my entire makeup stash in here for a week, 2 weeks. I recently took it on a trip. I was gone for 17 days, and this was the only makeup bag I brought with me, and it fit everything beautifully. So that is the main compartment, and as I said, I typically keep little beauty tools in here, but there are also little side pockets, one on each side, and in here I might have like Q-tips, cotton pads, that sort of thing. On the other side I just kept some skincare items. I've been using products from The Ordinary, and I could fit 3 in here very easily, and they stayed separate, they stayed upright, and I really enjoyed having access to those quickly. And there's this little front zippered compartment, and I hope you can see this well, but it comes out and it is also wipeable. There's a small divider here, and I could fit every single brush that I own in there. It looks like it's not a lot of space, but it is huge, and it's also wipeable, so it's easy to keep clean. And I just kept all of my brushes in there. On the back of this one, there is another another zippered compartment with a double zip. And this one just has a little mesh section divided, not down the middle, kind of to the side. And what I typically keep in here are my oral care items: toothbrush, floss, toothpaste, that sort of thing, and they stay separate and back there. And this one also has a trolley pass-through. I don't think I would ever use this as a separate item on top of my suitcase, but perhaps that would work for you, or perhaps you would keep it in a place where you would have it on top of something else, and that might be useful for you. The last thing I really enjoy about this one, two things, are the handle at the top, so I can quickly just grab it and go. And on the bottom, this has little plastic built-in feet, and it's coated in plastic as well, so if you're putting it down on a wet surface, you don't have to worry about your bag getting ruined. And the last thing to note about this one is that it has a pretty slim profile, so if you're in a place where there's not a lot of counter space, this is a great choice because it doesn't take up much space at all, but you still have access to everything you need. That one, again, is the Lug Trolley. One of the next items up is another Sonia Kashuk item, and as I mentioned before, I'm a big fan of the brand for cosmetic bags. I would say this is probably one of my favorites. This one is called the Triple Train Case, and this one is maybe a couple years old, but I believe they're still making this. I know they make a double for sure, and seasonally they come out with a Triple Train Case, so if it's not out right now, just keep your eye out on their website because it comes and it goes, but it is a gem. So this one has 3 zippered compartments. The first one, it also has a handle on the top. The first one, if you just zip it open, you'll see there is a little separate zippered section right here, nothing on the front, and right here you have a separate section for your brushes with a little flap to keep everything clean and tidy. In the separate section, in the second section, you'll see that there is not much going on here. It's not very deep. I would say it's about half a finger depth. But it also holds a lot of items as long as you're okay with lying them down. So typically what I'll put in here are my smaller toiletry items, like if I'm carrying like a body wash, a shampoo, like just a few small travel-sized items lined up like that. And if it's the case that I am taking just a carry-on, I'll usually just stick them in a Ziploc bag so I can take that whole bag out for TSA. And the last section is right here. It's about that deep, and that's typically where my cosmetic bag, my cosmetic items go. Also not very huge, but this is more of a quick trip kind of cosmetic bag, but it is organized. And everything has a section, which I find super helpful. This one also doesn't have a huge profile, so you don't have to like spread out the whole thing to use it on a bathroom counter. It's nice and compact. And my last few items are this guy. This is the Dagny Dover Large Hunter Toiletry Kit. And I've talked about this one in a previous video. I can link it up above. This is in the large size from the brand Dagny Dover. This one is made of neoprene, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I've done a video on this already. And also, I've done a video comparing this and the smaller sized one, and I can also link that above if anybody is interested. And just a quick glance at this one, you'll see that there is a small little pouch, mesh pouch that is attached by Velcro. There is also another little mesh pouch, and this one fits brushes really well. It's not going to hold a ton of brushes, but it does hold just about every trip you would need. Every brush you might need for a quick trip. And the rest of the bag looks like this. There's a small pocket back here, and there are some loops for smaller items like lipsticks, lip glosses, that sort of thing. And this one has snaps on the side You can make it bigger or smaller, and it's a nice squishy neoprene. And this one, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it will hold a full-size pallet, and in my previous video I did show that. So that's also a good option if you want something that's pretty small but holds a decent amount. And the last item I have is, I've actually shown this one all packed up in the past. I believe it was in a personal item only packing video, and I can link that one up above if you'd like to see exactly what I could fit in here, because it was a surprising amount. And I typically carry a bag like this for either a very quick trip, or if I'm traveling on an airline like Spirit or Frontier or Allegiant, where you're very restricted in what you can bring for free, because I don't like to pay for luggage. So I'll typically bring something like this and just pack it wisely so that I can fit everything that I need. So like the others, you'll see that there is a little section for brushes, and I've mentioned before I really like having my brushes separate in their own section. And the entire thing is lined in plastic, so it's easily wipeable. There's also a little zipper back here, and there's a little gusset of its own, so there are things back here. Right now I just have some cosmetic wipes. And that's it for this section. And in this section, it is very small, but you can fit a surprising amount of stuff in here. And there is also, I don't know if you could see this, a small little gusset with another zipper, and you can fit even more items in here. And everything is lined in plastic, so it's wipeable, and you can kind of just stuff this one full, and it maintains a small profile and it holds a ton. So that would be some of my top makeup bags. I really like all of these actually, but if you do have any specific questions, feel free to ask me in the comments down below. I can of course make a recommendation or tell you if something fits or does not fit. I will also leave links for all of these down below. As I said, Sonia Kashuk is sold at Target. Lug is sold. These are both Lug at the retailers I described previously, QVC, Lug Life, eBags, and a few other retailers. And Dagny Dover is sold at Nordstrom and at Dagny Dover's website. And for this guy, I do have a 10% off discount if that's something you're interested in. I'll leave the link down below. It's a referral link. And I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like this video, hit that like button, and please subscribe to my channel, and can't wait to see you again soon. Thanks.